Hello students, how are you all? I hope you're keeping fine and safe in this situation. Just stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll begin with a new chapter or a new topic of logical reasoning today, which is clock. Now, this clock you might find in logical reasoning of various kind of government exams. For any kind of competitive exam, basically, clock is a very common question. Okay. So, if you are finding how to solve the sums of clock, this video will help you out. Clocks is one of the prime topics one should study to solve the questions that is appearing in the public sector entrance examination. It is a significant part of logical reasoning, which not only involves an in-depth logical analysis but also pertains to a detailed level of calculation to solve the questions in the right manner. It is a very common topic with regard to the various government examinations conducted conducted all across the country. Now, every year, clocks form an integral part of the question paper of the following examinations that I am going to write down here. The first is talking about the SBI. You might have heard of SBI PO. This gives you questions on this. Next is IBPS SO. Okay. The third is RRB Assistant Loco Pilot. The fourth is Staff Selection Commission or SSC. Right. The fifth exam that conducts questions from this is, I have already written SBI, I just forgot to mention SBI PO. Okay. Now the next topic that gives you question from this is SBI Clerk. Okay. So these are the ones conducting questions from the chapter of clock. Not only this, SBI SO is also there. Okay, SBI SO. The seventh exam conducting questions from clock is IBPS PO. Okay, that is probationary officer. I have already written SBI clerk. The next is IBPS clerk. Okay, now this is all done. Now I will draw a sketch or a rough sketch of the clock for you. With this, after this I will give you an introduction about the clock. Okay, erasing this. Okay, I'll draw the diagram of a clock. See, this is the diagram of a clock. Now you might smile because the circle is not perfectly fine. So please adjust to it. Now if this is the diagram of a clock, you might see it starts from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? This is the hour hand that we say. This is the minute hand, which is longer than the hour hand. And the dotted line that I have stretched is called the seconds hand. Okay, so you can just go through this. Now I will give you the introduction of clock. Now clock talking about the introduction of clock, clock is actually a circular device that we can say that helps us to notice the time that is going on, or what is the time. It is a circular device provided with three hands that I already told you: hour hand, minute hand, and the seconds hand. These are the three hands present in the clock. Okay. Now, after the structure, now we will come to the basic shape. Now, I told you about the circular shape. There can be various other shapes available in shop also. So, just don't say it's circular, but mainly the device that has in it is circular. Okay. The study of the clock is known as horology. Okay. Now, this is not a very relevant question given for your exams, but you should be knowing it since we are studying the chapter of clock. The study of clock is called horology. Now, talking of the structure of a clock. A clock is composed of 360 degrees and divided into 12 equal divisions. 12 divisions. Okay. 360 degree. 360 degree having 12 divisions of each. Okay. Now, after we are familiar with this kind of 360 degree, that is the entire degree of the circle, we will come to the angle between the consecutive divisions that is obtained by dividing the total angle of a clock 360 by the number of divisions, that is 12. Now, the angle between two consecutive divisions is 360 by 12. 360 divided by 12. Angle between two consecutive angles. Okay, so this is done. So 360 divided by 12. Actually 360 degree divided by 12 number of divisions. Okay. Or you can even remember, since there is 12 hour, you can just remember. So 360 divided by 12 if you are not remembering the number of divisions. Okay. Okay. So this comes to 30. Okay. Now the angle between two consecutive, sorry, that will not be angle, that will be division. The angle between two consecutive division is 360 degree divided by 12 number of divisions will give you 30. Okay. Up till now, I hope this is clear. If the structure and the basic consecutive division is clear, then I will proceed on to the next part. You can take a snap of this. Just between the angle calculation, consecutive division calculation, you can take a snap of this. So we can proceed on to the next. A close observation of the clock reveals that an angular space between any two consecutive divisions has further 5 more divisions. The area between the two divisions corresponds to a value of 5 minutes. Hence, dividing this 30 degree by 5 will result in the angular value of the minute. So, angular value of a minute is calculated by 30 degree divided by 5 equals to 6 degree. Okay. If this is done, I will now give you a table that will give you the angular value of first 10 minutes. I will erase this. With this being done, I will start the minutes and the angular values. The first will be, first minute will have 6 degrees. The second minute will have 12 degrees. The third minute will be having 18 degrees. Fourth minute will have 24 degrees. That is, we are multiplying each minute with 6, the multiples of 6. Okay. The fifth minute will have 30 degrees. Right. The sixth minute will be having 36 degrees. I hope you are able to see. There is no problem. I will just proceed on to the next part, or I'll just erase this. That will be better. The seventh will have 42 degrees. The the minute of eighth will be having 48 degrees. The ninth minute, okay, the ninth minute will be having 54 degrees. And the 10th minute will be having 60 degrees. You can proceed on further. I am just giving the first 10 minutes angular value. Okay. If this is done, I will proceed to the next part. I will erase this. The next part I am going to discuss is about the speed. Okay. Now, speed of the hand. Okay. Now, the speed of the hand of the clock. A clock has 3 hooks and all the 3 move at different rates. The speed of the moving object depends on the distance travelled and the time taken to cover a specific range. The speed is calculated by the formula that I am going to give you. Speed is equals to distance by time taken. Now, we might have known about this formula previously. The speed of a minute hand is equal to a minute hand travels 360 degree in 1 hour. That is, it travels through all the 12 divisions around the clock every hour, which is 1 hour equals to 60 minutes. We already know that. Okay. Now, the speed of the minute hand equals to 360 degree divided by 60 minutes. Okay. Now, speed of a minute hand therefore is 6 degree per minute. I am writing short form for per minute, PM. The speed of the hour hand. Now, an hour hand travels 30 degrees in 1 hour. That is, it covers a distance of 5 minutes. That is the gap between the consecutive divisions in 60 minutes. So, the speed of the hour hand is 30 degree by 60 minutes. Okay. So, this will give you half degree per minute. Okay, half degree per minute. Now, the comparison between the speed of the hands. Okay, the difference in the speed therefore is 6 degrees minus half degrees, which is 5.5 per minute. You can understand from this itself. 6 degrees minus half degrees is 5.5 degrees per minute. Now, comparing the speed of the minute hand and an hour hand, one can conclude that the minute hand is always faster than the hour hand by 5.5 degree, or an hour hand is always slower than the minute hand by 5.5 degree, whichever way you say. Now, note here, the evaluation of the speed of second hand is not necessary as it travels a corresponding distance of 1 second in 1 second. Okay. Now talking of the frequency of coincidence and collision of hands of a clock. You might find these words in your questions also. Now, as we know that the hands of a clock moves at different speeds, they coincide and collide and also make different angle formations among themselves at various times of the day. Okay. Now we will begin with sums. Okay, if this concept is clear. Okay, I will write down the first sum for you. How many times in a day do the minute and the hour hands of a clock coincide? Okay, I'll erase this firstly. How many times in a day does the minute and the hour hand coincide? Okay. Now, whenever you are doing sums about clock, you might find the words coincide and collide. Okay. So, with this question, I will proceed on to the answer. How many times in a day does the minute and the hour hand coincide? I will start with the answer. Now, in this sum, we are considering the angle between them is 0. Okay, since nothing is given, we will just take by default the angle between them is 0. Okay. So beginning, the first collision of the hand in a clock is at midnight. We know this. Okay. Now if this is clear to us, I will give you the logical explanation. A day starts at midnight and hence the first ever coinciding of hands will happen at midnight. Now observing the clock, the next coincidence will occur at approximately 1 o'clock and 5 minutes. Thus, one can conclude that every hour there is one coincidence of the hands. Therefore, the answer should be 24 times for 24 hours. But it is not the correct answer and the right logic. You cannot assume like that. Now observe the time between 11 to 12. Either it can be AM or it can be PM. Okay. 11 to 12. It can be AM or PM as I told you. The hands are not coinciding between 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. The coinciding of hands at 12 o'clock is the coincidence between 12 and 1 and 11 and 12. Hence, in 12 hours, there will be only 11 coincidences. Okay. Extending the logic for 24 hours of the day, there will be 22 coincidences for 24 hours. Okay. If 12 AM is the first coincidence of the hands in a day, then the next collision will be at 1 o'clock 5 minutes. But the evaluation of seconds is difficult, but it is really not impossible. Okay. Now coming to the logical calculation. We know 12 hours, in 12 hours there will be 11 coincidences. Therefore, one collision will happen at, let me give you the formula. Frequency of one collision is 12 hours by 11. 12 hours by 11 is the frequency of collision. Okay, with this done, I can say you the frequency of collision is 12 into 60 minutes by 11. Right, if this is done, since 12 hours I have converted into minutes. So 12 into 60 divided by 11. Now coming back, since I don't have space, I'm getting back here. 720 minutes by 11. 60 into 12 is 720 minutes. So 720 minutes by 11. This is the formula, the calculation that I have got. Now we can say 65 5 by 11. That is the exact calculation I have obtained. Okay. If this calculation is clear from hours to minutes and then converting this from minutes to the fraction, the value of 65 5 by 11 indicates that the hand of a clock coincides after every 65 minutes and 5 by 11 of a minute. That is 12 o'clock if the first collision, then the exact time of the next collision will be obtained by adding 65 5 by 11 to 12 o'clock. Now I will give you a table. Frequency of collision and the exact time. Okay. Before that, I will erase this. You can just take a snap so that I can erase it properly. I'm starting frequency of the collision and exact time. With this done, I will start frequency of the collision. Okay. Okay. With this, I will start with the first collision. The first collision will occur at 12 o'clock. Okay, I'm writing it like this. Now, the second collision. The second collision will be taking just after that. This indicates hour, minutes and seconds. Okay. So you can assume that this will occur at 1:5:27. Okay. The third one. Now by this I mean first hour, 5 minutes and 2 seconds. That is 20 seconds. Okay. The third will happen at 2:10:54. Which means second hour, 10 minutes and 54 seconds. The fourth collision. Talking about the fourth collision, this will happen at 3:16:21. Third hour, 16 minutes and 21 seconds. Now talking of the fifth collision. This will happen at 4:21:16. 4 o'clock, 21 minutes and 16 seconds. Okay. If this is done, then I will proceed on to the next part, that is the sixth collision. Sixth collision will happen at 5:27:36. Okay. Now if this is done, the next one, that is the seventh collision, 6:32:43. 6 hours, 32 minutes and 43 seconds. Okay. You can take a snap of this. I will continue with the 8th. 7:38:10. Okay. 7 hours, 38 minutes and 10 seconds. Coming to the 9th, 8:43:38. 8 hours, 43 minutes and 38 seconds. The last one that I am going to write here is 10th, 9:49:05. Okay, that is 9:49:05 or 51 or 50. I have written. I haven't given you the 05. 11 will be 10:54:32. This is the 11th collision. I do not have space here, so I have shifted there. The last one, 12th, will be at 12 o'clock. Okay. If this is done, please go through this. I will teach you a trick to remember this. Okay. Now, see, the first happens at 12 o'clock. We will go 1 in the descending order. See, 2 starts with 1, 3 starts with 2, 4, 3, 5 starts with 4, 6 starts with 5, 7 starts with 6, 8 starts with 7, 9 starts with 8, 10 starts with 9, 11 starts with 10, and 12 will be exactly 12. Okay. So this is the trick if you want to remember the exact timings. Otherwise, the exact timings about the minutes and seconds, definitely you have to learn it up so that you are not facing any problem during the examination. With this being done, you can take a snap of this. This is really very helpful for the sum. If this is done, then I will proceed to the next part. See, I have given you the question. How many times in a day do the minute and the hour hands of a clock form 180-degree straight line in one entire day? This is the question that is provided. Okay. If you have noted down the question, I will proceed on with the answer. Okay. Now, coming to the answer, the hands of a clock make 180-degree straight line every hour except between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. A precise observation and analysis of the watch gives the idea that between 5 and 6, the hands make straight line 180-degree exactly at 6 o'clock, and hence it cannot be the one which happens between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Instead, it is considered as a straight line formed between 6 and 7 o'clock. Therefore, the hands of a clock make 180-degree straight lines 11 times in 12 hours. Okay, 11 times in 12 hours. And hence, now if you generalize it for 24 hours, the hands make 22 consecutive lines in 180 degrees of 180 degrees in 24 hours. Okay. Now, finding the time when the angle is known. I'm going to explain this. When the angle between the hands are not perfect angles, like 180 degree or 90 degree or 270 degree, the solving of the question becomes a little difficult and time consuming at the very same time. The logic below that I'm going to give you will provide you a trick to address problems involving angles of hands for other than standard aspects. Okay. Now the formula is T equals to 2 by 11 H into 30 plus minus A. I will write this down for you. 2 by 11 into 2 by 11 into H into 30 plus minus A. Okay. This is the formula. Now you will ask me what is this H and A standing for. Now T stands for the time at which the angle is formed. T stands for time. Time at which the angle is formed. Okay. I'm not writing the entire thing. I'm just writing in short. T stands for time. Okay. Now next, coming to H. What does H stand for? H stands for an hour which is running. Okay. H stands for the hour which is running. If the question is for the duration between those, for example, 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, it is the 4th hour which is running. Hence, the value of H will be considered as 4. Okay, so whichever hour is running, you will consider the first value, not the later on value. With T done, H done, I will come to A. A stands for the angle at which the hands are at present. I'm just writing in short form, hands at which the R is present. Okay. Now, the clock, if you divide into two parts, that is the first and the second half, and the time given in the question lies in the first half, then the positive sign is considered while evaluation or calculating the time. So this is the positive one. Else the negative sign will be used, which is the negative one. Now it depends completely on the question. Okay. Now let's begin with sums. I will give you sums. The first sum is, at which time between 3 and 4 o'clock the hands makes an angle of 10 degrees. Okay. I will erase this so I can solve this. Okay. I'll write down the question. At what time between 3 and 4 o'clock at what time between 3 and 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, the angle of the clock makes 10 degrees. Okay. At what time between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock the angle of the clock makes 10 degrees. This is my question. Okay. I hope the question is clear. 10 degrees you can write like this also, or you can write just 10 degrees like this also. Okay. Now coming to the solution. Now 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Okay. Please note, be very careful of the time given. Here H is 3, A is 10. Since both 3 and 4 lines is in the first half, that is considered to be a positive sign. Now calculating, T is equals to 2 by 11, H into 30 plus minus A, which I told you. 2 by 11, H into 30 plus minus A. Okay. Now with this calculation, I will proceed on with the next one. T is equals to 2 by 11, 90 plus 10. Okay. This will give you 2 by 11. That will give you 100. So 3 into 30 plus 10, that is 100. So in the next step, I will get 200 by 11. Right. If this much is clear, then the next calculation I am getting is 18 2 by 11. That is dividing it into mixed fraction or converting it into mixed fraction. Now, the answer indicates that the hands of a clock will make an angle of 10 degree between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock exactly at 3 hours after 18 minutes and 2.5 minutes. Okay, we have to add 3 to it. So, we can say 3, 18, 2 by 11. Okay, 3 hours, 18 minutes, 2 by 11 minutes, or 3 o'clock, 18 minutes and 2 by 11 minutes. Converting 2 by 11 minutes into 60, that will give you the answer. Okay. So, I have concluded my first video here. Okay. So, I hope the explanation is clear to you. I have just solved one sum here because there is a lot of explanation. Go through this. In the next video, I will come up with various other kind of sums from this clock chapter. Okay. So, everyone who is preparing for clock, please go through this video if you have to understand the next sums that I am going to give you in the next videos. Concluding my video here. Thank you.